Well, working on our existing site, whenever we change the data model of within our module, we always notice that the stored data on the existing site becomes incompatible. For example, like we sometimes we notice website encounter error. I still get nightmares about that. So yeah, this is where Drupal's updated API comes to our rescue. So it introduces hooks like update hooks and post update hooks, and we are here to understand about these two hooks. Um, so I'll briefly talk about what is update API in Drupal and the hooks that are included with it, and few examples that I've picked out from simple examples that I've picked out from code that I'll just take you through those. So yeah, update API in Drupal. So basically, this allows your modules to provide code that will update their data models between like different releases. Now, when we say data model, there are like several ways in which your data model can change. So firstly, like there might be changes to configuration schema. That is like you are adding a new configuration key, or you're renaming a existing configuration key, or you could also remove a configuration key. And sometimes you would want to change the default value of a configuration key that is already there in your existing site. And next, data model change would be related to your database schema changes. So sometimes your module, right? Your module defines its own hook schemas. So basically, they define their own custom database table. So now, if you want to make any changes to the existing table, like you want to add a database table or a column to the existing table, remove the columns or change the columns, or you want to or you want to change the format of the store data. So these are like some database schema related changes. Next thing is if you want to programmatically create any fields to the custom entities that you have created, you can like add fields, delete the existing fields. That also you can do with the help of update API in Drupal. And lastly, updating data. So your existing site will have a huge amount of data. Now, if you want to manipulate the existing data, you can do so with the help of update API. Next, what are the hooks? So first hook that we get is update hook. So 1 second. Okay. So yeah, update hook. So as you can see, it's in the form of hook update n, where hook would be your module name. Update is the name of the hook, and n refers to a number. So in this example that I've mentioned, that is example update 9201. So example here is nothing but my module name, then comes the hook name, and then comes the number. Here, like the first two digits, usually it indicates the core, Drupal core version. So in this example, I've taken up core as 9. So I've written it as 9. If it's 10, you write it as 10 there. And next would be the major released version of the code that you're currently using. So in this case, I'm using 9.2, so I'll specify 9.2. And the last two digits refers to the count. So it starts from 01, 02, and so on. So in this case, this is the first hook that is there in my example module. Update hook, there's a first update hook that I'm running. And where do you place this hook? You place it within your inside your module. You create a module.install file, and there you place it. If it's a theme, again, theme.install file. Now about more about update hook is that you never rename your update function. So basically, whatever the numbers that have been executed already, they are stored in the database. So once it's executed, you cannot rerun the same update function again. So it's already stored. So don't renumber it. So use the numbers, like check your code, and then don't reuse the same name update hook. And it runs in a sorted order. Basically, if it's 01, imagine there's 9201, 9202, 9203, and that's the order it is run. It runs in a sorted order, and it runs as a batch process. So if you have like 10 modules and each of them have update hooks. So they are run in a batch process. Okay, and we have this hook called hook update dependencies. So basically, like I mentioned earlier, they are run in a sorted order, right? So let's consider I have a module called ABC module, and then I have XYZ module. So when we talk about sorted order, first the hook within the ABC module are run. Next, all the hooks within XYZ module, they are executed. So A comes first, then comes X. And within ABC module, again, 9001, 2, 3, so on. Similarly like that. Now, I've taken a simple example where ABC module has a hook called 9001 and XYZ has 9003. Now, my requirement is I want to add a dependency of ABC module on XYZ. That is, I want to execute the hook within XYZ module first before ABC module. So there is this hook called hook update dependencies where I say that I add a dependency on the XYZ module. With this, what happens is 9003 hook within the XYZ executes before the 9001 on ABC module. So yeah, and next, now, like I mentioned, you are not supposed to rename the hook, reuse the same name of the hook. So it's always best whenever you're writing a new update hook, right? It's always best to check what was the last version that was executed. Like I mentioned, it is stored in your database, right? So this is the function that you can use. Drupal get install schema version, and you specify the module name. In this case, I've used my module name as the example, so I specify that. So it will give me the last hook that was executed. And next is if I want to reset it to some other number, I can do so. But this thing, right, Drupal set install schema version, try to avoid using it on, on your production sites. If you do want to experiment on your local, that's fine. But yeah, like try to avoid, but it's good to know this, right? So if I can give an example where this might come in handy, like imagine okay, so you're creating a PR which has a hook update in it, okay, and you have used the number as 9002, and so you have written some logic and you have pushed the code and it's merged onto your first testing site, like develop site. Okay. And after it was merged onto your develop site, your hook was executed there. So the number stored would be 9002 in your database within your develop site. But in the meantime, someone has reviewed your PR and they found few mistakes and they have reverted back with some feedback to your PR. Now what you do is you correct your same hook with the small fix in the same update hook 9002 and you push it again to the dev. Now what happens is the database already has registered 9002. It won't execute again, right? But if the code further goes on to your higher environments, there it executes QA or UAT or production. There it's fine, but on dev now it's a problem. So what you can do is first you check what was the last version just to be sure. It will show 9002. Now use this set command to set it back to 9001. Okay, and then you run your rush updb and your hook will be executed. So this is something that you can do on your on your lower environments, only if it's necessary. But yeah, avoid on productions. Okay. About post update hooks. So this is another update hook that I have been seeing lately on our latest core, like 9 and 10. Mostly, it's kind of mostly used now. So when we talk about this, is again similar to your update hook. So it's hook, which will hold your module name, and then post update, and then last one is the name. So previously it would just hold a number. In this case, it's alphanumeric. It's like an arbitrary machine name where it can have a number and also some alphabets in there. Some meaningful name you try to give there. Like in this example, here as an example, I've used examples of my module name and then post update, and the test is the name of the hook. Okay, and where it is stored, previously it was stored in .install file. Here it is stored in your module dot post update dot php file. If it's theme, then theme dot post update dot php file. Okay. And again, when it's executed, so this one is executed after your hook update has completely run. So first all the hook updates are run, and then post hook updates are run. So this again, it runs in a sorted order, like alphanumerically. Just to, if you want to track in which order it is running, you can also use just numbers. Just use the numbers how we have used in post update hook, right? Similarly, you can avoid using letters and just use numbers to get a clear idea which hook is running first. And one advantage of this hook over the other update API is here your Drupal is completely functional when the in this stage, right, when update hooks are run, Drupal is completely functional. So you can use any core API in this, any core API like entity API, anything. Whereas update API has few restrictions, like you cannot invoke like hooks and all that. And again, this runs in a batch process and it supports batch processing as well, similar to your update hook. Now, few examples from, these are some few examples that I've picked, simple examples that I've picked up from our core only. So this is an example of an update API. So as you can see, there is JSON API is the name of the module and update and 9401. And what I'm doing here is I have this configuration called JSON API.settings. We have a configuration and I'm trying to set a default value to certain keys here. So this is how it is. There is lang code read only, and I'm trying to set the default value to min and max keys. So when I run update, when I execute this hook, right, my configuration will be set like this. So minimum will have the value 5 and max will have 10. This again, example from core where we are trying to do some change, update the do some changes to the database schema, where I'm trying to drop a certain index from a table called location. And again, example from core where I am deleting a certain configuration. So there is a configuration called action.settings. I'm completely deleting that configuration. Sorry, and this is an example of post update. Again, post update example where I am getting a setting called views.settings, and I'm trying to set a default value to a key called UI, show default display, and I'm clearing a value from a key called UI, show master display. So like I said, you can add, you can delete, you can change, do whatever you want with the help of update APIs. Just want to talk about like when does these hooks are executed. So basically you have this command called rush_updb that you run, right? So when you run this command, first thing what happens is it finds all the update hooks. The first hook that I talked about, it was the update hook. So it finds all the update hook. Okay. Next thing is, I mentioned I can, usually it runs in a sorted order, but if I want to add some dependency on another hook, right, I can insert one hook in middle of the other hook, right? So that, so second thing is it resolves the dependency when an updb is run. Third thing is all these hooks, now after resolving dependencies, it is then pushed into the batch processing and they're sorted in a proper order. Once these hooks are update hooks are ready, next would be our post update hooks. So first update hooks, then comes the post update hooks. Now with the post update hooks, right? So if post update hooks are there, and if update hook was run previously, then a cache are all the cache gets cleared in between. Okay, and then post update hooks are added. Similarly, how update hooks were added. Similarly, post update hooks are added into our batch, and then they are executed. What interesting thing that we have here is cache clear. So if you just have only update hooks, only those are executed, and caches are not clear when you run rush updb. But if you have update hooks, right? First it runs update hooks. Sorry, if you have post update hooks, so first it executes update hooks, then it searches for post hooks. If they are there, then it clears cache, and then post update hooks are executed. So this is something interesting when we have post update hooks. Okay, let's go to a demo. Okay. So I have this simple module called test, and I have added a file called .install. Now, if you see, I have this two update hooks. Okay, 9501 and 9502 are the two update hooks. And this was executed, and 9502 also by mistake, instead of adding some, before adding some logic, I had executed this. So I can just show you. So here I'm trying to see what was the last hook that was executed in my test module. That is just get installed schema version. So now it will show 9502. You can see 9502. Now I want to reuse this. There is no use of having this blank update hook here. So I want to reuse this. So I use a, sorry. So I use a set command, and I want to set it back to the previous hook version. So if I can do a get, it should show me, yeah, 9502. Now if I run rush updb, it will show me this one in the list, 9502. Just simply run this for now. Now, like I mentioned, this gets stored in my DB. So if I do a get again, you'll see 9502 there. 9502 now. And if I run rush updb, you will find there are no updates available. So, yeah, no pending updates. So yeah, that's a use of set and get commands actually. Okay, let's use some hooks now. So yeah, so I have a hook, update hook ready, 95 in my module, custom module called config test. So now basically what I want to do is I want to add a new key into my existing configuration. So I have this configuration called config test.settings. So as you can see, there is just title here, and I want to add a new key called description to this. Okay. So for that, I want to run a hook. So first, let's see what is there. See, I do a configuration get for config test.settings. So it will just give me title there. You can see just title. Now my task is I need to add a new key to this existing configuration. So I add a key called description. Just some. Okay. This is the key. Just add a schema also. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. And then now to update my configuration, I have this hook update, where I get the config called config_test.settings. We just saw that, right? Config this one. And then I'm setting a key called description and the value to that. And I'm saving this configuration. With cget, I just got title. Now let's run updb. You can see this is my config test is a module, and I'm running hook update yan, when 9501 is the ID, the number. Now and it's always best to add a doc comment here. So if you have like n number of hooks written, and if you don't add doc, right, you'll just see the list of hooks, but don't see the description what is going on. So whatever doc comment you add here, it will show up here. So just add the doc comment, and then now, yeah, just execute this. Okay, my hook is run. Now let's do a cget again. So now I should see title and description in my configuration. You can see there is title and description. So with the help of hook, I was able to update my configuration here. Now let's talk about another hook here. So that is post update hook, which is added in the post update.php file. Okay, and let me just enable it. So this is my module name and the post update, and then you need to give a valid name, some user-friendly name. So basically, what I want to do here is I have this taxonomy. They have this vocabulary, and it has a field called field config test. I want to set the default value to my terms there. So let me show you. So configuration taxonomy, I have this configuration taxonomy called tags, and I have these many terms here. I just show you. I have this field called checkbox called config test, and all are disabled right now. It's disabled everywhere. Now I want to set a default value to it. I want to check this checkbox, enable this checkbox now. So I'm setting a default value as 1. So hook is ready. Now let's execute, and you use the same brush updb command here. As you can see, this is my module name. Now the ID, like it's a name of the post update hook, and the doc comment shows up here. Executed. Now if I just refresh, so as you can see, the default value for each of these terms are set now. So it is used to, so hooks help you to update the date, do some data manipulation as well. So if you ask me when to use what hook, to be honest, even there is no proper documentation on that, even on Drupal org. Okay, so now based on developers' experience and based on the core code, we can say that hook update n, the first hook, right? So it is more appropriate if you have to do any database or database schema related changes there. And about post update hook, if you want to do like Other than database schema, any schema related changes, if you want to, update the content and all that, try to use post update hooks. Like previously, we used to generally mostly use update hooks, right? Now I think we can slowly start using post update hooks as well. The main reason is update hooks, right? Not all the services are available, especially if you want to invoke any hook within that hook, right? That is there could be a problem there. So there is always an uncertainty at that time. And it's not, Drupal is not very functional also, because you're trying to repair your database at that time. That's the main use. Now, when it comes to post update, right, your Drupal is completely functional. All the Drupal APIs are there. So you can do anything, mostly anything in that hook. So yeah, if you are thinking of doing some content changes and all that, try to opt post update hook. Again, if you think that if you have like thousands of data and you want to update every content that is there in a site, and if you think it might take a long time, avoid using hooks and go start maybe opt for drush commands. Use create custom drush commands and do that. So if it takes if you think it takes a lot of time, then do that. You can opt for drush commands as well. Like for a best example would be, I think I've seen in migrate modules, right? Migrate APIs where contents are migrating. Since it takes longer time, they use like drush command there.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. I had an amazing time learning all the new things here at Specbee's TECHX. And if you did too, do let us know in the comments below. Keep following Specbee for the latest trends in technology. See you in the next one.